A baby is found and taken to an orphanage where they discover something terrible when they remove his clothes to bathe him. When the staff see the little one, they are all terrified. Night took over the city, casting shadows that stretched like claws through the narrow, dimly lit alleys. A visibly exhausted but determined woman ran through these shadows, cradling a softly crying baby in her arms. Her heart raced frantically, mirroring the desperation and fear that consumed her with every step. "I need help, please," she begged the indifferent passers-by, who recoiled at the slightest hint of terror in her eyes. No one seemed willing to disrupt their night to help a stranger, especially one clearly on the run. Glancing over her shoulder, she saw her pursuers, men with hard expressions, dressed in immaculate suits, indifferent to the tension of the moment and starkly contrasting with the decaying surroundings. "My God, they're coming," she murmured to herself, her gaze a mix of fear and determination. Finding a brief hideout behind trash bins, she tried to soothe the baby with urgent whispers that broke the oppressive silence. "Please, my love, stay quiet," she pleaded, as the baby's cries turned into sobs, as if understanding the gravity of the situation. It didn't last long as the men found her, their expressions as cold as the night. "Hand him over," demanded one of them, with a voice devoid of empathy. The mother's determination flared like wild flames in the face of the challenge. "I will never do that," she replied firmly, holding her son close, using him as a shield of flesh and love against the approaching threat. "He is my son, and I will protect him with my life." One of the men, annoyed by her resistance, stepped forward and struck her, causing the world to spin around her as darkness enveloped her. The woman's last thought was a silent prayer, pleading for her son to find safety in a world that had only shown them cruelty. Everything went dark after that incident, prolonging the night of terror. Minutes later, an elderly lady with a slow step and a generous heart was returning home after visiting the local church. Her name was Doña Estela, known in the neighborhood for her kindness and community spirit. Then, the unexpected cry of a small baby broke the silence of the street, capturing the old woman's attention. She followed the sound to a dimly lit alley. Doña Estela came upon a desolate scene. A young woman lay motionless, her face expressing the serenity of someone who had found peace in eternal rest, and in her lap a newborn cried. Yes, it was the same mother. The unfortunate woman had tried to escape from the men in suits. With the sensitivity of someone who understands life's fragility, Doña Estela took the baby into her arms, cradling him while investigating the mother's death. She knew what to do next, and chose not to reveal that she had found the baby with the woman, fearing the police would send him to an orphanage, possibly not a good one. Therefore, she decided to take him to her home temporarily, where she cared for him with the affection of a grandmother, offering comfort and allowing peaceful sleep to soothe his cries, at least for a few hours. The following morning, with a heart heavy from the unexpected responsibility, she took the baby to a trusted orphanage where she had been raised in her own childhood, hoping he would receive the care and protection he deserved. At the orphanage, Doña Estela and the baby were met with surprise and gratitude. "He needs a name," they remarked, and it was Doña Estela herself who chose Mateo. As she completed the registration procedures, a mix of happiness and sadness filled her heart. She felt relieved that Mateo was safe, but deeply sorrowful to leave him behind. The staff, noticing her distress, offered her the opportunity to participate in the baby's first bath. Overwhelmed with emotion and never having had children of her own, she accepted. Those moments of maternal connection filled a void in her soul that she hadn't known existed. With hands trembling with love, she helped undress the baby, imagining what it would be like to hold her own child. However, no one expected what happened next. As they removed the last pieces of clothing from the baby, everyone in the room was left petrified with expressions of disbelief. "My God, what is this?" they could barely articulate. While everyone, including Doña Estela, stepped back in shock, they saw mysterious symbols marked in black ink, similar to henna, on Mateo's tiny body. The precision of the markings defied any logical explanation for his age. The orphanage staff, along with Doña Estela, were stupefied by the enigma Mateo's skin revealed. The act of bathing him at the orphanage became an unforgettable moment for all present. "My God, who did this to such a small baby?" they questioned, caught between disbelief and curiosity. The marks on the baby's skin seemed ancient, meticulously drawn with a specific purpose. More than just simple tattoos, they appeared to convey a message. Yet the sight was disturbing on the delicate skin of a newborn. Doña Estela, now pale, stared absently, lost in her thoughts. "How did I not notice this before?" she murmured, more to herself than to anyone else. "I only laid him down to sleep. I never thought of bathing him or taking off his clothes." Speculations began circulating around the room, each person trying to comprehend the inexplicable. "Could the mother have been involved in something sinister?" someone whispered, seeking agreement. However, Doña Estela defended the young mother. "This poor woman didn't seem drugged or crazy," she said, recalling the image of the deceased mother still holding her son in a final act of protection. "There's something more here, something beyond our understanding." The mystery of the symbols quickly spread through the orphanage, capturing everyone's attention. The employees gathered one by one to observe the baby, whose skin was marked with enigmatic symbols, each trying to decipher the indecipherable. Meanwhile, the orphanage was immersed in a mix of fascination and fear of the unknown, uniting everyone in the search for answers. The baby, oblivious to the commotion around him, rested peacefully, naked, waiting for his bath, carrying an enigma that defied any logical explanation. Amid the rumors in the hallways about the mysterious symbols on Mateo's skin, one individual stood out, a young security guard named Gabriel, who had a particular interest in ancient cultures and esoteric symbolism, topics often unexplored. He approached during the bath to assist, to observe the baby more closely. As he examined the drawings, a specific symbol, a complex spiral intertwined with a figure resembling an eye, caught his attention. His voice, trembling not from cold but from a chilling recognition, expressed, "I've seen this before. My God, what is this?" Everyone, including Doña Estela, who remained beside the baby, curious yet fearful of potential revelations, echoed the question. Gabriel used his cell phone to photograph the symbols and spent a few minutes browsing dark forums and databases of ancient mythologies, searching for information that could clarify the meaning of these marks. What he found not only alarmed him, but also added a sense of urgency and fear to the mystery surrounding the baby. "You're not going to want to hear this, but these drawings are ancient symbols used by the followers of a peculiar god, Tina Abil," revealed Gabriel. "These symbols were linked to a millennia-old sect dedicated to the worship of Tina Abil, a deity revered for its power to bring both renewal and destruction. The sect's adherents believed that Tina Abil would manifest in the world through a human vessel, a baby marked with sacred symbols from birth. The most terrifying aspect was that the appearance of this ominous god required an inconceivable sacrifice. According to the documents Gabriel found, the sect performed a ritual every generation, selecting a young woman to bear the carrier of the symbols. After the child's birth, the baby would be given to the sect to perform the final ritual, thereby sealing the world's fate and ensuring Tina Abil's dominion over the earth. Connecting the dots, Doña Estela deduced that the young mother who had tragically died was likely desperately seeking refuge that fateful night, trying to save her child from the clutches of a dark destiny. The determination in her eyes, the fear intertwined with bravery, all made sense now. The mother was aware of the dangers the sect posed to both her and her son, and her final struggle was an ultimate act of love, hoping to protect Matteo from such a heritage. This understanding imposed a tremendous responsibility on Doña Estela and the orphanage. It was no longer just about caring for an orphan, but about protecting a life that had unintentionally become the center of a millennia-old battle between good and evil, according to the beliefs of the sect members. However, the men in suits who had been chasing the mother did not take the child after killing her. When they took her life, a police patrol with sirens happened to pass nearby, not in pursuit of them, but close enough to scare the men, causing them to flee, leaving the mother and child in the alley without. However, when they returned to take the baby, Doña Estela had already found and rescued him. They were left furious, not knowing where the child was. As if the situation couldn't get worse, tension at the orphanage skyrocketed with the unexpected arrival of two well-dressed men in suits. They introduced themselves evasively, mentioning only that they were looking for a baby whose mother was desperate for him, describing him as a blonde newborn and stating that the mother was in the hospital and separated from her baby. They asked if any child matching the description had been received there recently. The story might have seemed credible to someone uninformed, but Doña Estela, already suspicious, felt a chill of doubt. "We haven't received any baby matching your description," she replied, with a conviction that even surprised herself. The men's looks of suspicion and frustration revealed that they had spent the night and morning searching every orphanage in the city for the child. They insisted on verifying for themselves, but Gabriel, the security guard, stepped forward, touching one of them on the arm and warning them to step back. "Gentlemen, you won't be entering. You might disturb the children. The lady has already informed you that we don't have the baby, so please leave." It was then that Gabriel noticed something unusual. His blood ran cold. On the wrist of one of the men, partially concealed by a watch and the fine suit, was the same symbol that adorned Matteo's skin, the symbol of the god Tina Abil. The men, visibly irritated, left quickly. After their departure, Gabriel shared his observations with Doña Estela and the orphanage's administration, who unanimously decided to notify the police. The situation felt like it was straight out of a thriller. A baby marked with mystical symbols, an ancient sect, and enigmatic pursuers. But the seriousness of the case was undeniable. Initially skeptical, the police began an investigation as a precautionary measure. What started as a simple background check quickly escalated into an extensive operation as detectives uncovered a complex web of lies and manipulations linked to the sect that worshipped the malevolent entity. It was discovered that the sect had deceived several single mothers, promising a better future for their children, only to abduct them for their dark rituals. The operation culminated in several major arrests. The leaders of the sect and their main followers were apprehended in a police operation that spanned multiple states. The media extensively covered the dismantling of the sect, bringing to light the depth of their sinister activities. The media reports detailed how the police had tracked down and captured those responsible for the network of manipulation and terror. The orphanage, once a peaceful refuge for abandoned children, had become the epicenter of an inconceivable plot. However, amidst the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged. Matteo, unaware of his role in the conflict between good and evil, slept peacefully in his crib, now safer than ever, thanks to the efforts of people like the security guard and Doña Estela, as well as the diligent work of the authorities. The danger that once threatened the baby had been, at least for the moment, eliminated. The orphanage experienced a collective sense of relief, knowing that the threat the sect posed to the baby had been neutralized. The capture of the sect members not only marked the end of a dark era, but also served as a powerful reminder of what can be achieved when people unite for a common cause. After the whirlwind of events surrounding Matteo's discovery and the dismantling of the sect, a relative calm was established. Doña Estela, the woman whose heart had opened to embrace the baby from the moment she first saw him, made a decision that would change their lives forever, driven by the unconditional love she felt for the little one, and driven by a desire to shield him from any remnants of a dark past. She officially adopted the child, becoming not just his legal mother, but also his mother in every sense of the word. The adoption marked the beginning of a new chapter for both of them. Aware of the potential risks that might still linger, she decided that starting anew in a different place, far from any trace or threat that might have survived the dismantling of the sect, was the safest way to protect Matteo. With the determination of someone confident in her choice, she sold her home, said goodbye to neighbors and friends, and moved to a tranquil city in another region of the country with the baby in tow. This new city was exactly what Doña Estela had been searching for: serene, welcoming, and above all, safe. There, she and Matteo began a fresh start. The house they found was modest, but filled with love and joy. Matteo grew up under Doña Estela's affectionate care, far removed from the dangers of his past, and developed into a cheerful, curious, and kind child, a reflection of the love and dedication he received. Over time, the markings on the baby's skin faded, washed away by the years, as they had been done with a washable ink. Doña Estela chose not to disclose the events that led to Matteo's adoption, even as he grew up, believing that some truths are too heavy to share and that his innocence should be preserved. Doña Estela chose to fill Matteo's life with stories of adventure, love, and magic, inspiring dreams rather than fears. Matteo, in turn, never questioned their bond. To him, she was simply his mother, the woman who taught him to ride a bike, healed his scraped knees with kisses and bandages, and always chased away the monsters under his bed. Their love was a testament to the strength of chosen bonds, as powerful as those of blood. As the years passed, Matteo and Doña Estela lived their lives in peace, having found their place in the world. They were a family united not by the fear of their past, but by the hope of what was yet to come. Doña Estela watched Matteo grow up safely, away from the dark influences of the sect, and her heart overflowed with love and gratitude. She had realized her dream of motherhood, and together they found true happiness. Even after Doña Estela passed away at the age of 89, leaving Matteo, now 29, to fend for himself, he knew that as long as they were together in spirit, nothing could break the strong bond they had forged. If you enjoyed this story, you're sure to be captivated by the next one appearing on your screen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on our upcoming thrilling stories. A big hug, and I hope to see you in the next video.